You ever wonder why some people seem to defy aging and fatigue, like they just don't get tired? Well, they're optimizing this powerful trio. So muscle, oxygen, and then biomechanics, so movement that is rewiring their bodies and their brains, their minds for energy. So welcome to MOVE. It stands for muscle, oxygen, and variability in exercise. And you know what the best part about the next couple of days is? You're finally going to understand why the body makes the decision biologically to add muscle or to increase oxygen uptake, which would increase your energy levels. And right now, I hope, no, actually pray that you're starting the day with Adam and that you're happening to the day instead of letting the day happen to you, to us. And if you can tell by now, we're all about loose frameworks and rhythms here at Freedomology, which brings me to a super important point. So I started this software company almost 20 years ago, RealFlow and LeadFlow. It was really to help people build wealth through real estate investing. And it didn't take us long to figure out that people needed a lot more than just technology or tools. They needed education, they needed coaching, like how to do it. So we developed that. We actually showed them what we were doing in our own business to close over 100 real estate deals a year. And then let's fast forward 6 to 9 months. And we were really surprised that not all of our students were actually killing it. They were not building big businesses. Some were doing pretty well, but most of them weren't even getting their businesses off the ground. And then we had this major aha moment, like this light bulb going off. We started to loosen up the framework because we realized that not everyone was doing real estate full time. Some were trying to start this side hustle. And that kind of business is going to look very different from our business. And that's when we started integrating something that we call loose framework theory. And that's how we built Freedomology around your natural instincts. You're watching this right now, and you might be similar to me in a lot of ways, but your situation is unique to you. That's why you are such a critical part of this. We're giving you a framework, but it's not so prescriptive that you have to follow every single step exactly to be successful. So look at it this way. We're guiding you down a path, and this is very similar to how your brain and all the systems in your body actually operate. There's these things called pathways. So what does pathway mean in biology? Well, a pathway is a series of biochemical signals inside the body that control a specific function. So last week we talked about the fat switch, and I think it's so liberating to understand why the body makes a decision to burn fat. Hopefully you love that concept. But there's also a muscle switch. It's called the mTOR pathway. Now, that stands for a mechanistic target of rapamycin. And before you get all confused, it's actually very simple. Think of it like a set of traffic lights that tell your cells when to stop, go, or change direction. So some of these pathways build things like muscle, protein, or fat, and some pathways actually break things down, like burning fat, or clearing damaged cells, or even digesting food. So a pathway is very simple. It's made up of a trigger, things like food, exercise, or fasting, a signal, so molecules inside the cells passing these messages back and forth, and then an outcome, which could be muscle growth or fat loss, repair, or some other biological process. And tomorrow, I'm gonna explain what the muscle switch is all about, and man, it is exciting. If you wanna add muscle, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do it. But if you're like me, you need to understand why you should be doing it. And I think that's gonna make all the difference. So we talked a little bit about these blue zones, right? Those parts of the world where people routinely live past 100 years old. And many of these people have a similar muscle mass and body weight at 80 or 90 years old as they did at 30 or 40. How is that? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, most of us actually peak around 30 years old from this physical perspective. And then we begin the decline. We lose about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. And that might not sound like much, but over time it compounds. And then eventually we sort of fall off the cliff. And since age 40 is all about falling in love with your life, I need you to see if you can make a mental shift here, to view movement and building muscle as something we actually get to do, not something that we have to do. Because man, that is a game changer. I mean, think about it. The fact that you have a body that functions, the fact that you can move and build muscle, that is a gift. There's gonna come a day in your life when really you're no longer able to walk or run. And there's gonna come a day when you literally have to let go of your body and move on to the other side. That day is coming for all of us, but that day is not today. Today, you're alive, I'm alive, you're breathing, I'm breathing. Our bodies are capable, so we want to use them. We want to move them. We want to find some joy in movement. Muscle is going to help us feel better. Muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat tissue. The more muscle we have, the higher our basal metabolic rate, BMR, is. Essentially, the more energy your body burns, even when it's doing nothing. And this increased metabolic rate, it helps us manage our body weight. It helps boost energy levels, enhance our moods, reduce stress, even get rid of chronic pain, even improve cognitive function. It makes us smarter, and that makes us feel good. And then there's oxygen. Muscle and oxygen, these things go together like an Oreo cookie. It's hard to get almost all doctors and health experts to agree on anything, but they do on this. The higher our VO2 max, the healthier we are. So VO2 max is a marker for how our bodies consume and use oxygen. And the higher it is, the more efficient our heart, our lungs, our whole circulatory system operates. That means that we can dramatically reduce the risk of heart disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, even certain types of cancer. Now, picture this for a second. So the mitochondria, these are the little powerhouses of the cell. They're thirsting for oxygen to churn out ATP. That's basically our fuel source, adenosine triphosphate. So when those little suckers get enough oxygen, they kick into high gear. They go into this like turbo mode and they start producing energy like a nuclear reactor. So if you're looking to really ramp up your energy levels, just pump up your oxygen levels. Get moving, breathe deep, and almost instantly, like after a few days, you're gonna start to feel the difference. After a few weeks, a few months, it's gonna be night and day. Movement doesn't have to be complicated. Literally a 30-minute extra like additive walk every day would be absolutely incredible for almost everyone watching this video, for your health, your weight, your energy, and just your longevity. And I wanna share with you what I consider to be the perfect workout in a few days. We call it Super 7. So it combines muscle, so strength training, cardio, and mobility, so stretching, which essentially is the big three. If you can add muscle, increase or improve your oxygen, and improve your flexibility, you're gonna be physically and mentally stronger. And after this week, you are going to view movement as a gift.